this season now, everybody's looking at him. They know that he's the leader of our attack. They know he's the brain of the attack. The IQ is incredible. Even when he's not the centre of attention, you just look at his little touches, the way he's able to manipulate the ball, go past players, and almost just create for others and say, right, I'll put it on a plate for you, you and you. But we do need to look at, I guess, the overall standard of refereeing in the country as well, because we can't protect him as fans. The manager can't protect him. He has to play him. And players, they can get into a scuffle after he's been fouled, but they can't protect him either. At the end of the day, it's down to the referees, which has been a lot of controversy over the last few weeks about refereeing in England, as there has been for years. They're the ones that have got to identify that Palmer is being targeted, he is being hacked down, and start to give players bookings for those challenges, regardless of what time they are in the game. You can manage a game with common sense, 100%, but if someone hacks a player down, you've got to book them, and then they can't do that again, or they're risking being sent off, and that is how you get over it in the end. So he's playing in that 10, and it's so congested. Unless the only thing Chelsea can do is just add, or players can do, is just add more quality around him, or those players step up to higher levels so he's not as targeted. You look at a Hazard, if we had given him a Bale, or some that kind of Modric to a Lampard, that's how you kind of balance out a team and say, right, you can't just look at Cole Palmer, because if you do, we've got other world-class players on the pitch.
Yeah. No, definitely. And you touched on something there. Jace, do you think he needs more protection from referees?
Welcome to being one of the best players in the league, by the way. This is what he's got to deal with. Best players get special treatment on the pitch. And what I mean by that is Hazard went through it. I watched a video of Maradona when he was in Italy. Right, this is going to happen. It's because the way the game is refereed now, officiated, they now are more protected. You can only do so much as a referee. Palmer has now got to start to think a little bit quicker, because he likes touching and he's brilliant. But the more touches on the ball, the more chance you're going to get kicked. He might now have to start thinking a bit smarter. He might have to adapt, because this is nothing new in football. The best players, up against the best players, I was told, can you give him a whack? Can you get close to him? Can you just... And that's what you do. This is an age-old problem in football. And because the way the game has changed, you want the best players to be given more time. Well, that's OK, but when you haven't touched the ball for 15, 16 minutes and you're in Diddy in the middle of the park, a bit of frustration creeps in, you're going to whack him. The referee's there to do his job. All you can do is what Matissa said, John Terry will be around him. We need now leaders on the pitch. Get round the referee, get in his ear, speak to the referee. It's the second time that's happened. Now you've got to start having some leaders that try to influence the referee. But Palmer's going to have to live with this, because this ain't going away. This special treatment on a special player is going to continue. He might have to just adapt his game a bit quicker. Hazard went through it, but you think about Hazard. Hazard was one of those players that would wait for the kick, would accept the kick, because it was a tough little thing. You remember some of the whacks he took. He was brave. He knew that he would take a player on, he would tow it away, he'd have to ride challenges. Yeah. And this is what Palmer's going to have to do. This is new to him. He's not had this kind of treatment before, because we've all noticed, I'm sure, that actually Palmer's influence on the games hasn't quite been the way it was at the beginning of the season. It hasn't quite had the influence. Why? Because they're getting closer to him. Yeah. He's the one. He's the danger. Give him a whack. He's going to have to adapt as well. So I think there's two parts to this. One, the referee, the players can help protect him. Palmer might have to start thinking about changing his game slightly, and the best players will adapt and change, as Hazard did the way he got whacked.
That's such an interesting point about Hazard as well. This is why we love talking to you, Jace. Kwaku, league table's not looking bad at the moment, is it? Third in the league, 1 point behind Manchester City, level with Arsenal as well. Are we believing that we are title contenders?
Are we believing? You asked me, are we believing we're title contenders?
Are you believing we're title contenders?
I know you're believing we're title contenders. I'm not. And Matisse made a reference earlier in terms of Jose Mourinho, 13-14 season. Chelsea, a little horse. They need to be nurtured, watered, fed. Next season we'll come back and we'll show you what we really are. And the 14-15 season, guess what? We won the title. I think this Chelsea team is going in the right direction. I did say on the show last week, it's going to look kind of spooky for the rest of the teams come the beginning of January, because our fixtures are relatively favourable. There's no easy games in the Premier League. There's going to be bumps in the road. But considering how difficult the start of the season was in terms of fixtures, we have now got a favourable run up until we play Man City on the 25th of January. Come next week, like Jay said, we could be second in the Premier League. And that's a misnomer. Chelsea fans are going to get excited, and we're right to get excited as football fans, but we are not there yet. We know what it's like. We know what title-winning sides look like. This is a very different season because of the performances of Man City. But if you compare us to Liverpool, for example, the amount of world-class players they've got 4 players that can start for Real Madrid. If you think about Alisson, you think about Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mo Salah, they've got 4 of the, not just best players in the Premier League, 4 of the best players in the world. We haven't got that yet. I think in terms of world-class players, Cole Palmer's on his way there if he's not already there, and Caicedo as well. But beyond that, we are a developing, burgeoning squad. Give us time. Let us enjoy the journey. Kids talk about cooking. Oh, Chelsea are cooking. We're marinating right now. The cooking comes after the marination. And so allow us to just enjoy the path, enjoy the journey. And then when we do get there, we'll recognise it, because when you are a team that are challenging for titles or going to win titles, you smell it, you notice it, you sense it. For example, the Nottingham Forest game. Like, Nkunku scores that header, or Cole Palmer scores that goal where he flips the defender. But those little moments aren't going in our favour this season because we're not there yet. We're still a very, very young squad. But this season's going to be a good one. We're going to enjoy it. We're going to finish in the top 4. I'm very sure of that. Title challengers or title winners, we're not there yet.
No, very sensible answer, Kwaku. Jace?
No, we're not. We're not right. We're not ready. Like Kwaku said, I've seen our club win at the Premier League, and I've seen different qualities that this side doesn't have. For example, going away to Leicester, dominating the ball. Could have gone at half-time 1-1. Shouldn't have been worried with 3 minutes to go, because I've seen Chelsea sides go away, win 1-0 away at Blackburn, right? When all the lads took their shirts off. Remember that? I think Robin might have scored. We went there, and that was a tough game. We got kicked all over the park. Chelsea players were there, physically standing up. We had the mentality. We are a very, very young side, whether it be the mentality side of the team, the physicality of the team. We talked about Palmer getting kicked. We're not there yet. I still think that City, Liverpool and Arsenal finish above us. I think that we're up against a fight with Villa, Newcastle, even though they got beat the other night, Spurs, Brighton aren't going away anytime soon, but, give them the props they deserve. I think that if we can get top 4, that represents a remarkable season. Top 2, wow. I mean, to think that we could be second going into Christmas is quite remarkable, but don't be fooled. There's a long way to go, and we're not that team yet.
OK, very quickly, Matisse, your thoughts?
I'd say, the Premier League isn't played on paper. I know we've got some favourable fixtures coming up, but we have to actually get the job done. We have to show that we can build up a consistency. When you're title winners and you're looking at the 3 teams that are actual title contenders, and that's kind of traditionally been what they have been over the last couple of seasons, they've gone on 10, 11, 12-game winning runs, and I don't think we're capable of doing that. You look at our Conte, title-winning season, massive winning run on that one as well. Mourinho winning season, you're looking at blistering football at the start of the season, then going into a defensive kind of mechanism at the back end and being able to win those games 1-0. This Chelsea team hasn't got that versatility yet. They have to play a certain way, the perfect way, I say. They can't get the goals off the set pieces. They can't bully teams just yet. And I don't think they've got the know-how or the experience at the back end of the season. If we were even, if we were top, that would be incredible. But if we were in that position, would I trust these guys for the first time? We saw what happened with Arsenal a few seasons ago. Would I trust these guys for the first time to see off the experiences of Van Dijk's, Salah's, Trent's, City, if they get themselves back into the mix? Would I trust us to see that situation out? It would be a massive shock if we were to do so. So for me, top 4 was always the target. Get yourself Champions League football again and win the cups. Go and win the FA Cup. Go and win the Conference League. I was disappointed we went out the Carabao Cup earlier on in the season. I think we could have done better there.